All right. Can you see the screen? Hello? Hello, can you guys see the screen? Oh.
Yes, you can see.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for tardiness. I was having issues with the network. So yeah. So let's jump in. So, for this week, we're going to be treating plugins and packages with Flutter. So this week we're going to talk about plugins, what plugins are, what concerns plugin with Flutter, and then packages too. And then we also know the differences between plugins and packages. And then we'll also discuss about pub.dev. I don't know if any of you have used it before, their website. So as we go along, I will show you what pub.dev is and how it works. Let's start. So what are plugins? Well, a plugin is a piece of software that adds capabilities to your app. So a plugin is kind of some codes that once you kind of give it access to your app, it will help you like speed up your development process. Example is for example, we are building a WhatsApp app that looks like a WhatsApp. Then you want to add the camera feature to be able to take photo and to capture videos and live events. So you use what we call a plugin to make it possible. That's if you don't want to hard code it yourself. When I say hard code, I mean when I say hard code, I mean like instead of you writing the whole code yourself, use what we call a plugin. So you just add it to your app instead of you doing the whole thing, and then it gives you that capability, that functionality of you writing it yourself. You guys get me? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, understand.
Okay. So examples of plugins are, like I said, the camera plugin. Yeah, so example of plugin is the camera plugin, the video plugin. You guys used the video plugin before. Maybe we are working on an on-screen feature. Maybe you are doing a WhatsApp video, or you are working on a Zoom app, or you want to just add a functionality that you can capture video and save on the cloud. So use a video plugin. A share plugin, for example, those that use the cam scanner, that share button, or maybe on when you are using the browser, share the slide, you use the share plugin to make it possible. Then file selector, Google sign-in is the most popular. Google sign-in, for example, you are building an app and you don't want them to start putting in their phone numbers or their emails and password. So use the Google sign-in. They just sign in with their Google account to be seamless. And the image picker. Image picker is not really that. I don't know if you guys. Okay. Image picker is we want to select, and I've not really used it before, but I think image picker is used to select images on I've not really used it before, but I just picked it up. So URL launcher. This one is used to add, for example, I want to, for example, on WhatsApp, I want to be able to, okay, on Facebook, let me use Facebook. So if you're using the Facebook app and you see a link there, and when you click it, for example, when you're watching the advert on Facebook, when you click those, it will take you to the website, but you will still be on Facebook. So you use this URL launcher to, for example, connect it so that when you want to view maybe websites, you can still view it inside the same app. that's an example. Or you can actually view it maybe on Google Chrome, to direct it on Google Chrome if you want, or any other browser if you want. That's a plugin. And then I forgot the key functionality of a plugin, like I said earlier, is to give you, like, to make things easy for you. For example, if you are the first example, a camera plugin, for example, if instead of you writing the code to make the camera to turn on when the user or whatever app you're working on, whenever user clicks it, for it to turn on, instead of you writing it yourself, use a plugin online. The let me admit some people. All right. So the key functionality and the key difference between a plugin, the key functionality in a plugin is that plugin can be used to differentiate. Plugins can be used instead of you writing the hard coding, like for example, the camera. Instead of you writing the code yourself, you now use a plugin that has already written the whole code and is being maintained, and then just add it, and then to ease your development process. Plugins can be, for example, on Flutter we use that. Plugins can be that or any other language. It's not a must that is the main language. For example, the camera plugin is mostly written on native and then integrated with that. That's for the camera plugin for Flutter. So that means it's written with Java or Kotlin or maybe Swift or what's the other one? Swift for the iOS version. So what's it called? Camera plugins is not really written maybe on the main language, for example, Flutter, or that can be written in native language or another language, but it will have a specified language that it can work with. So packages are codes that enable creation of all these things are English. Packages are codes that enable the creation of other smaller codes that can be easily. Well, in the real sense of the whole English is that packages are codes that someone has written that can be reused or shared and can also help speed up development process. Example, and another thing about packages is that packages must be written in that same framework or the same language of whatever development you are going to work with. For example, in Flutter, we use that. So that packages that we use in that are written in that language. And when I say that, I mean DART. So packages we are using that are written in that language. But for plugins can be written in either that or Java or Swift or even Flutter itself. It's not a must it's written in that. You can also use other native languages like Java and Kotlin to write it. But for packages, it must be written in that language. So example of that packages, I'm sure you guys have used most of this here. So we have provider. Provider is a state management tool. It's really very popular. Then we have GetX. GetX is also a state management tool and routing. And then we have advanced drawer. It's for drawer pop-ups when you're building an app. So because for you to build a drawer pop-up, a drawer for your app, you have to know a bit about animation and some other things. So when you use this advanced drawer, it will speed up the process. So you just know how to integrate it into your app and you are good to go. So Firebase Messaging. This one, I don't know if you guys have used it before. Firebase is a cloud tool. Then Firebase Messaging is a feature on the cloud tool, whereby instead of you doing the backend, maybe building a messaging app, and instead of you doing the whole backend, making sure that everybody's unique ID is different, this, that. So you use your Firebase Messaging to just integrate it into your app and some tweaks to start working for you. Then UID means unique user ID identification. Is used mostly for maybe if you are trying to create maybe an account for someone and you want to, or you are working with maybe are creating a list or a to-do list. So use this unique ID to specify, to make each list or each account unique. So that's it. So Firebase, like I said, is the cloud tool from Google. So you use it to, maybe if you're working with Flutter and then you want to connect to the backend. So of you using the socket.io, having a backend language and all these things. So you use your Firebase and just connect it and you're good to go. SQLite is a a database tool, lightweight, and then shared preferences. I won't call it a state management, but it's actually used to manage navigation. If you are working with your app, we'll try one of the two of these apps. That's for packages. And so the next thing is pub.dev. So there is a package manager for that programming language, mostly that programming language. So there's libraries and the case for Flutter, Angular 2, and that. But like I said earlier, it's mostly for that, like Flutter, that programming, like pub.dev is. So it's a tool for package managers. So pub.dev is normally used to maybe like for example, this package examples I gave you guys, like provider, get.x, advanced drawer. If you go to pub.dev, you can be able to see all these packages and many more, at least 1,000 of them, at least. And from there, you can be able to install it, or you can be able to import it on your Flutter project and be able to use those tools, those packages easily. So you are coding it yourself. So let's go to what's it called, pub.dev, so you guys will see it. So this is actually how pub.dev looks like. The recent one is still loading. I just made a screenshot and then posted it. So
Hello, I can't hear you from here. I don't know whether it's only me or.
okay. Okay. Can you see it? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen, but
Can you
it's
see the
blank.
screen now?
It's not blank.
I can see the
your
screen, but it's
It's
a white
blank.
screen. Okay. I've seen pop.dev.
So that's the pub.dev, and yeah, you can get a lot of packages, and some plugins are here too that you can use for your Flutter development. So let's check. Flutter. Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
Hello?
No, yes, can still see your screen.
Sir? As per what?
Load again. It's loaded. I can see your screen. I can see your screen, but things is loading again.
Okay. So is the advanced drawer their page on pub.dev. So I'm trying to get into my VS Code, so try and install it. So Right. Okay. So to install the advanced drawer with package, we need to get we go to our prospect pub.dev and click on install.
Hello, I can't see your screen.
Can you see it now? Okay.
No.
Are you sure?
I'm not. Am I the only one that can? Okay, I can see it now. I can see it now. Okay.
It is everyone. I can see it now too.
So you go to your pub.dev. This is the advanced drawer. And you go to these dependencies. So you can use this button if you want, or I'll just by this, just copy, Ctrl C, and then I'll go to my VS Code, change my screen soon. All right. So we come to
I can't hear anything. I don't know what is wrong.
area, please.